What one? Just got all I'm using 3 colours: ultramarine blue, light red, lemon yellow. I've put in that first bit I put in with just lemon yellow and light red mixed with loads of water. Now I'm putting light red in. That's quite watery as well, quite a thin coat. I'm going to have some water at bottom, bit of a lake, so I'm sort of what I'm doing in sky, I'm sort of adding in bottom and all. Bit of ultramarine blue now. Stick some of that on into water at bottom, look. Jobs are good. Just blending, softening it in, because it's damp from all them wet colours. I normally wet my paper first, but I didn't do this time. But I did sort of wet it because the lemon yellow and light red for that creamy colour what I put in first were watery, so that were sort of how I wet my paper, so it's made my paper all damp, so all these colours will run into each other a bit, and that gives you a nice looking natural sky in that. If you haven't watched before, I'll let you know who I am. I'm Bertie D. I lives in this bungalow with my mum, Gertie D, my stepbrother, who's 45. Me and my stepbrother are both 45 years old. My stepbrother Doofus, he lives here with us, and his dad, my stepdad, Arthur, all lives here in this bungalow on Peasant Crescent. Well, still adding a bit of red there, look, light red. Light red's like a bit of a brownish red, really. Niceness. Well, blending in, look, softening all them colours in. My stepbrother Doofus, he's been watching these podcasts about, well, the conspiracy theories, really. He's well into it all. He watched one about UFOs, and he spent 2 weeks in attic with tin foil on his head because he watched a thing about alien abductions. He's just watched one now where he's been telling me about. Oh, let me have a sip of my coffee, hang on. It's a Sunday afternoon today. I'm just chilling out, putting this voiceover on and drinking coffee. Yeah, so he's watched this podcast about this organisation called the Illuminati, right? And he reckons, after watching this podcast, when a company makes an horror film, he reckons the Illuminati contact them and say, right, you've got to pick from our scripts, and their scripts are from stuff what's real, what's really happened. This is what he reckons. I think it's probably true and all. So they make sure that the film, when they're filming it, that it's accurate to what really did happen, and they come and make sure you're doing it right, putting all right proper details in and that. So doofus reckons that all horror films are true, that they're all real, it all really happened. Well, weird, innit? Anyway, scraping rocks in. That's how I does my rocks. I just use a bit of card and I just scrape it. You want a slightly fatter paint when you're doing rocks. Here, look, I put a bit of light red in, a bit of blue in, just to mix them colours up a bit, so it's not all just one colour there. This painting's perfect for beginners because I'm only using 3 colours, so you ain't got to worry too much about colour mixing. If you use them 3 colours, it's good for practicing colour mixing. I'm using a big, well, not that big, but a biggish Ike brush. Again, that's brilliant for beginners because it stops you from fiddling. There, I don't know what that is, what I'm using. I found it and I thought that would be good for doing little grasses and that. So, like I say, slightly thicker paint, and then you can scrape them grasses in. What we tend to do, thinner paint in background, thicker paint in foreground. And in general, if you warm your colours up a bit, as you come forwards, you'll get more of a 3-dimensional look. That's what you want. You want depth in your painting. It's like them mountains, because they've been done into wet, they look misty. What makes them look further away? Because you've got the atmosphericness. What all that sort of light and that, it like filters stuff what's further away, so it looks misty. So you've got to try and reproduce that in your paintings. My girlfriend got upset with me because I wanted to watch a 3D film, because I said I'd never watched out in 3D before. She lost her temper with me and said I was an idiot and said everything's in 3D. But what you're looking at now in the real world, that's in 3D. I didn't realise. Yeah. We ended up not watching a 3D film and I just watching something rubbish without any car chases in it. And now that's trouble when you go to pictures with your girlfriend. They insist on watching usually some soppy romantic stuff. They love rom-coms. They love it. Just put in a few little reeds in, and then I reflect them, look, a few little reflections. You could, if you want, reflect them mountains. I haven't done. Sort of quite far back from shoreline, so I didn't bother, but you could reflect them into your water as well if you want. Putting some bods in. That's Peter, that's Paul, that's Hilda, that's Gladys. You know, then puts a B and a D in. Sign your paintings. B-D for Bertie D. There we are, that's the finished product, and this is it in a virtual frame, like a digital frame. It's not a real frame.